I broke down the France vs Spain match in detail, piece by piece. I found several very strong options here, including on corners and yellow cards. There is a reliable bet for the parlay at odds of around 1.5, and I also found a juicy single at odds above 2.5, which in my opinion has very clear match logic behind it. Now I'll explain why I came to these exact conclusions. In my opinion, this is the hidden final of this World Cup. We have the two most consistent teams of the tournament, who have gone through the entire distance practically without any serious failures. But if you look a little deeper, it becomes clear that the styles of these teams suit each other perfectly, and the match could turn out to be more high-scoring than many expect. France are the only team at the tournament to have won all of their matches in regular time. In 6 games, the French have already scored 16 goals, while the defense also looks almost flawless. But the main advantage of this team is not the number of stars, but the ability to adapt to any opponent. France can comfortably play as the dominant side against defensive teams, while against national teams that like to control possession, they do the opposite. Give away the initiative and become extremely dangerous when attacking the open spaces. And this is exactly what could become a huge problem for Spain right now. Luis de la Fuente's team plays with a very high defensive line, constantly pushes the back line forward, and spends practically the entire match on the ball. Against most opponents, this worked brilliantly, but against players like Mbappé, Dembélé and Olise, such a model becomes very risky. One accurate vertical pass may be enough to send Mbappé through one-on-one. Please drop a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Here you will find truly deep and well-argued match analysis. Thank you, let's move on. At the same time, Spain themselves also look excellent. Throughout the entire tournament, the team has allowed practically nobody to create anything dangerous near their goal. But it has to be admitted that the Spaniards had not yet faced an attacking line as powerful as France's. But everything is also working almost perfectly for them going forward. Yamal, Olmo, Rodri and Pedri constantly create pressure through possession, stretch the opponent's defense, and are very good at opening up packed defensive lines. France will most likely be forced to defend without the ball for most of the match, which means Spain will definitely get their own chances as well. I generally think many people greatly overestimate defensive reliability in matches like this. Yes, it is semi-final, the price of every mistake is enormous, but both teams understand perfectly well that nobody is going to play solely to protect the score here. France have too powerful an attack to sit back for the entire match. Spain have too high a possession percentage to abandon their own football. That is exactly why I expect an open game with chances at both ends. For the main parlay, I really like total over 2 goals here. If you want to increase the odds slightly, I would consider France individual total over 1 goal. And my main opinion for the juicy single is 1-2 plus both teams to score yes at odds around 2.55. Guys, here's my Telegram and my stats. I work as transparently and honestly as possible. I even pay taxes as an individual entrepreneur. I am one of the few in this space who actually works openly and fairly. The link is in the description below. I also could not pass by the small markets here. This time we are talking about corners again. I'll say right away, I don't recommend anyone blindly following these bets. This is one of the most unpredictable markets in football, where statistics do not always turn into results. So this is exclusively my personal choice. But after I analyzed the latest matches of both teams in detail, I got the feeling that specifically in the first half we could see a fairly active game and a large number of corners. France started almost every match very aggressively. Mbappé, Dembélé and the entire attacking group tried to load the opponent's penalty area from the opening minutes, constantly take players on, sharpen attack through the flanks, which regularly forces defenders to simply clear the ball behind the goal line. Spain play in a similar style. De La Fuente's team also likes to take control of the ball from the opening minutes, actively use the width of the pitch, and constantly create pressure through Yamal and the fullbacks. As a result, both teams collect corners quite consistently even before the break. I also paid attention to the head-to-head meetings in the Euro 2024 semi-final and the 2025 National Leagues final. The teams comfortably went over the 5 combined corners by halftime. This style of play has barely changed since then, so I can easily imagine a similar scenario now. For the main parlay, I like total over 3.5 corners in the first half at odds of around 1.45. If you want an option with higher odds, I would consider total over 4.5 corners in the first half at approximately 1.95. Another interesting risky option is France individual total over 2.5 corners in the final half at odds of around 2.2. And for those who like very high odds, I would take a look at Spain individual total over 2.5 corners in the first half at approximately 2.5. But once again, I want to emphasize, corners are an extremely unstable market where one match scenario can completely overturn the statistics. So I am not encouraging anyone to repeat these bets. This is exclusively my personal choice. Guys, I don't want to use my main bankroll on juicy odds, because odds above 2 are always risky, so I usually like using welcome bonuses for bonus. I registered, made a minimum deposit, and got 5 bonus activations, and basically I put each bonus on one parlay exactly for juicy odds. I left the link to the bonuses and full conditions in the pinned message in my Telegram channel. The promo is still active there. Let's move on. I also could not pass by the yellow cards here. I'll say right away, I do not recommend anyone blindly following me. This is the same kind of small market as corners. A lot here depends on the referee, the match scenario, and how quickly one of the teams takes the lead. But personally, this market seems to me one of the most interesting in this match. Why? Because we have two teams absolutely equal in class, where the price of every mistake is at its maximum. This is already a World Cup semi-final and nobody is going to let the opponent to go without a fight. I specifically looked at the latest France and Spain matches against strong opponents and noticed one pattern. When the level of resistance is high, both teams begin to use tactical faults much more often. Spain generally rarely play dirty without a reason, but if the opponent regularly breaks into fast attacks, the La Fuente's team does not hesitate to stop them with small faults. France act in roughly the same way. Against technical players like Yamal, Olmo or Pedri, you have to play tighter, while the French in turn will surely have Mbappe and Dembele's runs stopped regularly. I also looked separately at the latest head-to-head meetings between these national teams. Both in the Euro 2024 semi-final and in the 2025 Nations League final, the teams comfortably went over 4 yellow cards. Considering that the stakes are even higher now and the place in the World Cup final is on the line, I can easily imagine the match becoming even tougher and more emotional. That is exactly why I will take total over 3 yellow cards at odds of around 2.24. But once again, I want to emphasize, yellow cards are an extremely ambiguous market and I'm not encouraging anyone to follow me.